Basically, I was writing a book for youngsters, basically children in high school and college. Basically, it will give an idea to them about various career opportunities they can pursue. So basically, I am interviewing different individuals from various industries, and then I'll be compiling them and making a book out of it, or out of all the interviews. So the first question I would like to ask you is, first, I would like you to
Hmm,
introduce yourself, your company, industry, and your experience.
sure. So I'm from the financial field, specialization into personal finance. Company's name is Ask the Wise Guy. So we're into coaching entrepreneurs, how they can better manage their personal wealth to be able to create passive income out of it so that they're not dependent on their business anymore, which is their single source of income, and also be able to grow their wealth exponentially to take care of the future financial needs of their family and the legacy to leave behind. So this is predominantly what we do through programs and guiding people on a one-on-one basis. This is the nature of the business. Have I left out anything else?
About your experience, something if you could say.
So I've been in the financial industry and research industry since I was 19 years of age. I've been working in research when I was in UK in a company called Sinovate. And then when I turned 21, I started working in financial sales until 25. Then 25, when I hit that age, I came to India. I worked with Royal Bank of Scotland as a financial research analyst. Then I started my first business, which is Trendlines, which is registered with SEBI as a research analyst. Then in 2018, I started financial coaching. So I've been in the industry for, I think, 13 to 14 years now. In India since 2013, 14, and in UK since must be when I was 19, around that time. So this is good 13 years ago.
So why did you choose this specific industry? Why not some other industry?
I realized that my natural inclination was towards research and marketing, and finance was something that really interested me a lot. Initially, I did not choose finance. Finance chose me because in UK, that's the job that I got. But I later developed that job into my passion, and I really was thrilled to be able to help people financially by guiding them through or by suggesting them the right things to do. So I realized that this is a very big gap that people don't have enough financial knowledge or literacy. So if I can help them or educate them or guide them in the right direction, we all know how finance is something that is most important to people in life. So if I can help them on the what's most important to them after health, I would say. So I should be able to help people live a better life, at least financially.
So is this something you realized in college, before college you were inclined towards finance, or once you got your job?
It was a transition, Rishabh, because for me, during college times, never really thought about what path am I going to take. I was just going with the flow. Later on, when I was doing my job, even then it was about what makes most money for you. When I came to India, that's when I started thinking more thoroughly as what stream of work do I want to carry on for life. And I realized that I anyways have strength in this area or field, and this is where my passion also lies. I enjoy what I do. That's where I made a decision. Yeah.
So can you give us some idea about how is your industry shaped in the last 5 to 10 years, and how do you foresee the industry in the next 5 to 10 years?
How the industry has shaped in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, and the future for the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, so you're talking about the future or the past?
Both. So how has it come along, and then how do you project it?
Financial field in India is it's coming up it has mostly been unregulated. Many areas of finance have been unregulated, and there's been a lot of ambiguity in finance in the past. That's one thing that has drastically changed. People's perception and towards finance, especially investing, has also changed a lot. The people have started realizing that the old ways of managing their money doesn't work anymore. So this is also changing and encouraging the industry. As a nation, we anyways are. If I talk about the listed space, 40% of all the market cap of the biggest companies of India is anyways in the financial sector itself. So we were anyway strong, and that shall continue to do so in the future too. In the future, from other aspects, I feel that more and more people are going to become financially inclusive and literate. More people will need to learn about finance, and this is we were just starting this an era of financial literacy. There is a lot of ground to cover.
So, sir, now can you please throw some light on the challenges you faced during your initial years of your career and your advice to youngsters to overcome or avoid these mistakes?
The first one was very evident one. I started when I was in my late 20s, and I was asking money from people who had saved whatever they had saved in all of their life. So it was a hard decision for them. Easy for me to ask, hard for them to give. So that was a big challenge because people judged me on the basis of my age, not on my experience or my skills, both of which I could not show unless I took the money and deliver something to them. So that was one big challenge. Not having someone as a godfather or not working in the Indian market for long enough, that was another challenge because I had a diverse experience of research marketing, and that too from UK to India. So that personally was a challenge to adapt to the Indian culture, the way of working here. Although it was not as big as the age challenge, because that was a big perception that I had to break for a lot of people. Later, obviously, the returns and results speak louder than words. So that changed automatically when we started delivering the promises. So the advice I would give to someone is, if you're just passionate with what you do and be consistent with it, and not give up, because challenges are inevitable. They are going to come what may. But it's all about how relentless you are on your pursuit to do what you're going to do. Anywhere you're going to face challenges, it's all about just pushing through the challenges and just getting to the end result what you want.
So, next is, would you suggest students to study in India and work in India or overseas and look for better opportunities there? Where are more better job opportunities? As you said that you've worked both in UK and in India, according to you.
I feel if you have to do a job, probably working abroad would be a great experience. The work culture abroad is amazing. It's really nice. And the opportunities you can find there is also tremendous. Especially Indians who are hardworking and skilled do very well if you go abroad. On the contrary, if you have to do a business, I believe India is a good space because this is a place where a lot of startups are being incubated. We're getting a lot of funding these days. It's the market is very much hot and open, and there is a lot of the environment and culture is very supportive now for especially startups in India. So when we started being a startup was not a word back then, but we were a startup and we kicked off two businesses like that all by ourselves. If someone was to start now, there'll be more support available, there'll be more resources available, and there'll be more guidance available, something that was not available back then, not 8 years ago. So business, if I'm given a choice, I'll do business in India. If I have to do a job, I'll probably do it abroad.
Okay, and what about education? So, we all have heard people saying that I want to go to US, I want to go to UK for education, for college, India is not good and all. So is that perception right, or is it flawed?
The education abroad is more practical, it's less theoretical as compared to India. Although I could not comment how it is right now because I'm not studying right now. I can only compare the time period that I did. And this is, we're talking about from 2005 to 2010, around that period. So back then, it was a drastic change from theoretical to practical. But then again, uh, education, there is no substitute to experience. Education is great, it sets the base. What I learned most out of my foreign education, I did my graduation and postgrad both from England, and I realized that it really helped me to boost my personality. It helped me to be more open and expressive. It helped me to be more confident. But I wouldn't necessarily say it made me a scholar. I wouldn't necessarily say that I am where I am today because of the education that I got. It gave, you can say, a great perception to people that this person has studied well or this person has studied from esteemed places. So it's more of a psychological merit, I think. But the experience that you would get is the real. You won't be paying for the experience, but you'll be getting it. You'll be paying for the degree, but in result, you'll be getting the experience. So it's the experience that really changes you, not the degree or what is actually being taught. Because you'll forget all of those things. You'll always, in every cell of your body, that experience will always be there. It'll become a part of you. So that's where I feel that yes, one should go, one should do, but remember, it's not what's written in the book, but it's what you're going to experience there is what is going to be the most valuable thing.
So the last question I would like to ask you is, so you've seen a lot of youngsters wanting to do startups right now. So what is a tip you would give for them? So as you said, you've started two companies. So what is a vital tip that one should always remember about while starting a new company?
Well, two things: before starting a company, one should work in one. So start with a job first so that you're able to understand how things work. This really helps you understand the structures of bigger organizations. How do they work? Helps you to systematize yourself. It helps you to become more self-disciplined, something that even me as a teenager, at least in my early teenage, that's something I really missed. Later on, as I experienced these things, it nurtured me into who I am today. So starting up, working in a good corporate would be a great boon to understand how uh, one should discipline themselves. It's not just discipline, so many other things that you learn while you're on the job. And then when you start your own startup, maybe have a godfather or have someone who can guide you in the right direction too. This could be someone who is senior in the same industry, or someone who that you aspire to become, or someone who's already done what you have done, so that you don't waste your effort and time into things that you're not sure which will work or not. It's better to go in the right direction rather than hit and try. So these are two main things I would definitely say. These are, if you want to go for a startup, these are two things that are operationally very helpful. One thing which defies all the odds in the world is you have to be absolutely relentlessly passionate with what you are wanting to do. Day and night, you have to eat, sleep, drink that same one thing. Only then you can be successful in it. Otherwise, it's a competitive world and people give up too easy. The first challenge they face, they start crumbling in their confidence, and that's the difference between people who make it and people who don't.
Understood. So I think so that was it for the session. I would like really thank you for your input. Like it's really going to help me and everybody, I think so.
Sure. I wish you all the best with this. If you need anything else, don't hesitate to reach out.